and I really wanted to have another child. So I had my oldest at 35, and I really did want to have a sibling for him. And I had always seen myself with 2 children, but I kind of a little bit reverted back into this hypervigilant masculine mode of, I better get onto this because now I'm 37. And for a little bit there, I rushed into it, and I kind of regressed back into my old ways, and I did 4 IUIs, which all failed. And I just took a honest look at myself and what I was doing and the way that I was being, and I knew that my baby would not be on the other side of this manic-ness, and went back to, I'm going to take another 6 months off, and I'm going to do all the things I did before I conceived my oldest boy, and really ground into my body again and listen to my intuition and take aligned action from that place, slow down my life, create space in my life. And I took those 6 months, and 3 months into that time frame, I conceived naturally. After being told I had a 1% chance of that ever happening for me. So again, perfectly healthy pregnancy, beautiful home birth, and super healthy child. And it was then that I realized I just had to work in this space, because women, I don't think, realize just how much influence they do have over their fertility. And from that moment on, I was like, I have to work with these women, because there is just so much more to it than this is your statistic and your prognosis, and there's no way around it, because it's just not the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so crazy that we all have to go through so much to get to that knowledge, right? Which should be taught to us from the very beginning. So what came up for me is, I want to know, with hindsight, why did you go back into the old ways if the new ways, quote unquote, work so well for you?
Yeah, I think, this kind of work, this kind of conscious inner work, which now I've been with it now since I had my youngest consistently now. But I think at the time, our old patterns, they're not that easy to break. They've been with us since childhood. They are embedded in our subconscious programming. They've been with us since we were probably 7 years old. And I sort of had, my oldest boy, and I went back to work, and I don't know why I reverted back to that place. I think that it was just the programming was so deep-seated. And I think something that did help was that I was working with a woman who was a hypnotherapist for fertility in particular, and I saw her for 6 weeks before I actually did that first IUI for my oldest boy. And then I went back to her when all these IUIs failed, to really clear out the remaining shit, basically, that was keeping me stuck. And it was during that time of working with her that I conceived naturally. So there's always going to be layers in life. We're not kind of one and done, we're awakened, we're like these new, we'll never do that again, we're just so pure, and all the rest of it.